Alright guys, welcome back. So in this video we're going to show you how to create your ads, how to add your pictures, how to add some text, how to combine those pictures together with the text, possibly put the text in front of the picture, maybe set a few transition effects, and then finally how do we upload what we create to the sign. So in previous videos we talked about how to configure the network, which is how to connect the CPE antenna to your PC, or if you're doing a direct connection, how to connect that Ethernet cable directly to the sign. Then we talked about the various menu options in XM players, you know what's under the file menu, what's under the preview, what's under control, and then there was a few menus that we skipped because usually if you come across issues that require you to use those options, you'll be giving us a call and we'll be making those changes for you. So in this video we're going to jump right in. Like I said, we're going to create a new program. We're going to import some pictures, we're going to add some text on those pictures, and then we're going to set a few transition effects, and then finally we're going to go ahead and follow the steps for uploading those to the signs. In future videos we'll talk about scheduling if you wanted to create a schedule for something that's going to be played at a specific time, but for right now we just want to do the basic, how do you create your first ad and then how do you upload that to the sign. Alright, so let's jump in. So we'll go to File F, and we'll select new. One thing to note with XM Player is that I know it looks it looks Windows XP-ish, like an old software. But once you start using it, you'll realize that almost everything is exactly where you'd expect it to be. And then there's going to be several ways of doing exactly the same thing. So there's no right or wrong way. All you're going to do is select the option that works best for you. Whatever is easier for you, go that route. So to create a new program, we can go to File, New, and since I already have one open, it's going to clear this one. So we'll get that cleared, and then we'll do it again, File, New. And then notice we have what's called a program page there. If you watch the first video, or if you watched the previous video, you'd have seen what a program page was, and we talked about how to rename it and a few things about that. But there are several ways we could create a new program. One is by going through the File F menu and then go ahead and selecting new right there. We could have done a new program just by clicking this icon right here, so it does basically the same thing, new, and then we've got that new program page. In the previous video we talked about happy hour, so I guess in this video we'll follow that theme and make an ad for a restaurant. So maybe we'll import pictures of like a sandwich or some type of meal, and then we'll use some words that that maybe complement that. So we'll go ahead and rename this program page, just call that LED Sign City, and this is our restaurant, so we'll go ahead and put that. I only need this program to play once, so we talked about that before. So play refers to how many times is this program going to be played before moving to the next one, or how long this program is going to be played before moving to the next one. So we're going to keep the default, keep that set to one time, and then if we have more pages, more ads, it will jump from this one to the next one, and so forth. Left and top right here, again, not too important because it just refers to the location of your previews. And notice I can click, drag it around. You can see the values changing there, so we can disregard that for now. Height and width is 3020 by 240. So with this settings, based on the size, if we're using this hypothetical sign, this sign would be a P8 millimeter, and it's going to be roughly 6 feet by 8 feet. So with 6 feet, I've got 240 pixels from top to bottom, and 8 feet wide, 100 inches. We've got 320 pixels from left to right. So pretty high resolution sign. You may have a P10, you may have a lighthouse, or what we call the P16. You may have a beacon HD, which is the P6. But you would already have a document. It's on your invoice, it's on your estimate, it's on the display diagrams that we sent you. And if you don't have those, it's literally how many modules you have going from left to right, how many modules you have going from top to bottom, and then you just do a quick multiplication. If you've got a P10, you've got 32 pixels in each module. So if it's 6 modules from top to bottom or 4 modules from top to bottom, you just multiply that by the number of pixels. Same concept from left to right. So in this case, my screen resolution is 320 by 240. Just go ahead and overwrite that and put whatever your screen resolution is. If you don't have it, again, you don't want to calculate it, just go ahead and give us a call, and we'll get you that information as well. All right, so next step, now we jump down to all the elements that we can add to the screen. In the previous video, we talked about multifunction. So multifunction is if I use some other program and I made all these files already, and I wanted to import all those files, and it's just going to play in sequence. I would use a multifunction program. In this case, we're making an ad as if we don't have any other software, so we're going to be using XM Player to import the pictures. We're going to use XM Player to type the text. Same thing, we're going to use the same software to put the text on top of the picture. We're going to change the background of that text to transparent so I can see the picture showing behind the text. And then I'm going to use it to adjust the transition effects so I can set, do I have any animation for my picture? Do I have animation for my text? I'm going to set multiple text windows so I can have like one layer of text doing something different from another. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and save that and then upload to the sign. And I think at the same time we can actually show you how to do a schedule as well. We were gonna save that for a future video, but I think once we've done all that, we've done all the steps. If you want to make a schedule, it's really just one more action that we have to take. So we'll try to throw that into this video as well without making it too long. All right, so we're going to skip multifunction because I want my elements to be layered, which means they're going to be playing simultaneously. I'm going to have something as the background, I'll have something as the forefront, and I want it all playing together at the same time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a file window. And if you look at your preview, you'll notice your file window is right there in that top corner, and then I can click and I can drag it. So remember we talked about that left and top position. So notice I can click on that file window and I can drag it and kind of place it where I want to, and then look what happens to that left and top. So within this window, as I adjust this file window, you can see the left and top position changing. I can even jump right over here to that left top position. Okay, I want this to be in the very corner, right there to the side and right there to the top. So setting that to 0 starts it right at the edge of your screen. And again, this preview is a direct representation of your actual LED sign. All right, so I want to make this file window full screen. So there's several ways I can do this. I know my full screen is 320 by 240, so I could go ahead right there with the file window selected. I can go ahead and change that. And just keep in mind, whatever you have selected, that's what these options relate to, and that's what you'll see on your preview. So if you notice, when I click on the program page, it's showing me the program page, and it's showing me that area in brown where I have that file window, and everything else is that blank area where I can still add more content to it. When I click on the file window, notice the file window now goes dark, and then all the options here change. Again, just one more time. On the program page, I can see my screen height, my screen width. I can see all the elements I can add to it. On the file window, I see the height, width of that file window, the position. I can rename that if I wanted to. And then the only option I have for a file window is to add files to it. So pretty straightforward. It lets you import your pictures, your text, and all that stuff. All right, so to make it full screen, I can just go ahead and type this in. I know it's 320 by 240. So I know that that's an easy way to do it, right? Because I know that's what my full screen is. Another way we could have done this is I just click right on the edge. Notice I can resize that there, just right on the edges. So I could make this full screen just by clicking at the edge and just kind of dragging that all the way down. So that's two ways now of adjusting the screen size. I can make it full screen by right-clicking on that file window, going to size, and then there's an option right there for full screen. So I can just go ahead and click that. And notice there's a few more size options. But for right now, I'm only interested in full screen, so we can go ahead and we can hit that, and there we go. And then another way we could have adjusted this screen size is by let's go ahead and shrink it. We can go right there, and if we look, my file window selected, and if we look to the right, you see all these align options. Left align, top align, right align, align to the bottom, and then this final option right there that says full screen. So we could hit that again, and it snaps it to full screen. So again, to just bear that in mind. Pretty basic software, but it does give you an array of options for doing the same thing. So whichever is easier for you, just go that route. If it's easier for you to just click that button, if it's easier for you to drag it out, if you want to right click and resize it on the preview, you can do that. Or if you're mathematical and you want to just be super precise, you can type in the actual pixel dimensions of your file window. All right, so now to add that picture to the file window, we're just going to go ahead and hit Add File. Then I'm going to navigate to a folder where I have my files. So on my desktop, I have an image folder here. And I can import images like one at a time. I could go right there, or I can highlight all the images and import all the images at the same time. And since these are related, I'm just going to take these two pictures all at once and hit import. And then inside that file window, what you'll notice is that I have those two pictures playing in sequence because they're inside the same folder. So it's going to go, for example, if I hit my preview here, you'll see that's picture number 1, and then it jumps through to picture number 2. So, and then it's going to cycle through because these are my two pictures inside that file window. The next thing I want to do is I want to change the effect because I'm going to add some text, and I want my text scrolling in from one direction and doing something else. So I don't necessarily want my picture moving or doing random effects like it is right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the entry effect from random. I'm going to do something simple like maybe a gradual show. I don't need it to do anything when it's clearing, and then I can click on this picture and then make the same adjustment, or I can use these shortcuts right here. You can just hover, it says, hey, I'm going to apply this to the current program, hey, I'm applying this to the current page, or hey, I'm applying this to the current window. So I'm applying it to the current window, so it's going to apply it to those two picture files. So they both should be set to that gradual show. So notice when you click it, quick gradual show right there. So right here, this is talking about the speed of the effect, speed of how it enters, speed of how it exits. And then right here, this refers to the stay time. So this is similar to if we had set it here to say, okay, keep this file for 30 seconds, right? Because we could have changed this. So what this would do is, no matter what I have here set to my stay time, if I change it here on the program page, it's going to override the settings that I have, and it's going to keep it, for the number of seconds that I have set here. But if I leave this set to 1, what the program is going to do, it's going to give precedent to whichever file or text or video is the longest. It's going to play to the length of that file, and then it transitions. So if there are other files inside there that's not set to play as long, you'll find that those files play multiple times, but the actual video or picture or text, whatever is set to be the longest, that's going to stay there for that specific time before it moves on to the next one. All right, so once we have that set, we have our picture. And again, just to give you a quick recap of what we did, we can just go ahead and take that out. We'll go new. We don't need to save this. And then we'll do a new page. We'll add a file window. We'll add file. I'm going to select both these pictures. I'm going to open them. So that's how we import pictures. And once those pictures are in, I'm going to go ahead and change the entry effect from random just to give it that gradual show. And then maybe I'll change that to 5 seconds instead of 3. 3, sometimes that may be a little bit fast. And then I'm going to use this to apply the changes I've made to the current window, which is that file window, so that they're both set to the same things. Notice the settings right there are the same. All right, awesome. So next step is we're going to add some text. So we got to jump back to our program page, and then on our program page, okay. And one thing, let's go ahead and rename that as well. Yeah. So it's not essential that you rename it, but I just want to stay consistent. All right, cool. So now we'll go back to the program page, which we are calling LED Sign City, and then we'll go ahead and add a text window. And then when you add a text window, much like the file window, notice all you can do with the file window is add file to it. With a text window, all you can do is, add text, or you can create new text. You have two options. Let's do one more thing before we move on to the text. So we'll go back, and again, we're going to do that full screen to make that image fill the screen. Okay, awesome. So back to the text window. So now we can either type a new text or we can import some text. We're doing this for the first time, so we don't have any text pre-saved. So instead, we're going to type some new text. I created a notepad here with the text I want to use. So what I'm going to do is to just copy, highlight the text, do a Control-C, and go to new text. You can type it in if you want to. I'm just going to do a Control-V and paste that in. And then now that I have that, I'll go ahead and I'll resize my text. So I want to make my text a little bit bigger, so we'll go maybe 18, not too big. We'll make that bold as well. Okay, perfect. You can see that text right there. And then we'll go ahead and close that preview. Close that window, and you should see that text showing up on that preview. Just like we did with that text window, with that picture file, we can resize our text windows as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll resize that because I only need that much space for the text that's there. Okay, so now just to add text, we'll go back. Let's do this one more time. Let's go ahead and remove that text. Just want to make sure I'm not going too fast so you guys can get it. So to add text, we'll hit that, or create new text, we'll hit that new text option. Or, go ahead and do that Control V for the text I already copied, and then we'll go ahead and resize that. We're going to make it bold. All right, perfect. So we got that right there. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to add another text window. So I'll go back to my program page and I'll add another text window. This one I'm going to position at a different spot. So we may need to look at those images to see where we want the text to be. But for the time being, I'm going to have that there. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my little notepad and let's copy the phone number. Okay, perfect. And we'll go new text. And then we're going to paste that phone number in, and we'll do same concept. We'll go ahead and make that a little bit bigger, maybe not as big as the original text, but we'll also make that bold. And we'll go ahead and save that there. And then same thing, we'll adjust the window and position the text. And then we're going to add a third window, and this one's going to have my message. You don't necessarily have to do as many windows as I'm doing here. You could have put everything inside one window, but because I want to make the transition effects, I'm doing multiple windows, so I can have text that's going to stay still. I want some text that's going to be having some type of animation on there, and then finally I want another text window that does something different. All right, so let's go ahead and get that happy hour starts at 5. And this one we're going to make much bigger because this is the actual message that we're promoting. So we'll go ahead and make that bigger. We'll go ahead and say maybe 25 based on the screen size. We'll hit that down into 2 lines, and then maybe at 5 we'll go a little bit bigger with this. Maybe 30, make that a little bit bigger, and then we'll make that bold. Bring that there. We can change the color of the fonts if we wanted to as well. So we could say, okay, happy hour, what's a happy color? Happy color, hit that option in the middle for the font color. And then, we'll just pick this for now, see how that looks, and then we can always go back and change it. And then this, we'll keep that the way it is. I want to get this centered up a little bit, and then perhaps add even a little border around this text. So let's go ahead and add something, another color, just to give it a good contrast. Well, maybe I'll take the same color and just put it around the text. Okay. All right, perfect. So now we got happy hour starts at 5. Let's give it a little bit more spacing. Okay. All right. Cool. I think that works. Then we'll go ahead and close that window, and same thing, we'll have that there. We can resize this text window to be the size that we need, and then we'll position these how we want to. All right, so we'll have that there. We'll go ahead on this one. We'll get that phone number. So for now, let's get that picture out of the way. So we'll go ahead and click it, just kind of move it out of the way for now. And then we'll position these texts where we want them. Okay, all right. Cool, let's get that nice. And you could actually be super specific with this by entering the location values. That's when that would come in handy. Or you can just try to eyeball it and just get it where you think it looks nice. And then we can do a quick preview just to kind of see the placement of our text. You see we got the name, we've got the message, and then we've got the phone number. And then if we needed it to be a little bit tighter together, we could bring that down a little bit, and then we could bring that up a little bit. Okay. All right, perfect. So it's looking not looking too bad. So now we can go ahead and get our picture back in place. Just go ahead and hit that full screen option. So remember we talked about using a multifunction, everything plays in sequence. Using the actual elements separately means they're layered, right? So they're playing at the same time. So essentially, if I do this preview now, you'll notice you're only seeing the photo. And that's because based on the order that we have, if we go back, you'll see we have the picture in front. It's on top, so it's saying to the software, hey, this is in front. Then this is behind that, which is in front of this, which is in front of this. So what we want to do is change the order of things and basically bring that picture down. So now we're saying, hey, these are in front and this is in the background. So for these, it's not that important because if you notice, they're not overlapping. So it doesn't matter where I put them or what order I put them in, because they're not overlapping. They're in their own space, so they're perfectly fine. All right, so now if we do that preview, we'll see, okay, we're one step closer. We have our picture in the background, we have our text on top. So it's all working together, except now we've got this black border around the text, which it's not making it too attractive. It's cutting off a lot of the image, so which we'd like to see more of. So we'll go ahead now and we'll go ahead and change the background here from normal to transparent. You see right there, transparent, and then we'll do the same thing for this one, and then the same thing for the final one. And then now if we do that preview again, now it's it's much nicer, right? Now we've got our text, we've got our message, we've got our phone number, and then we can start playing around with design. I think it would be nicer if we had the phone number. So the phone number, which you can see right there, we can bring that down a little bit. We can make this window a little bigger as well. So let's make that window bigger. And then we can double click to get back inside there, and now we're going to resize that, and then maybe 25, and then we'll close that out to see how that looks. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep that there as our phone number. We'll shrink that down a little bit. All right, cool. And then we'll go ahead and we'll look at the main message. So the main message, we've got it there. We'll try to center that up a little bit. I don't think we've got to do much to that. Let's see it. We could just increase that font size just a little bit, just based on this. So we'll go up just a little, not too big. Give it a little bit of a balance. Okay, awesome. So that's looking okay. And then for the logo, I could tell that this looked a little bit small, but let's see how it all looks together. Okay, all right, not bad. All right, so we've got the first text that's right there. We've got the background changing, and then we've got our message, we've got our company name, and then we've got the phone number. So if they want to call for more information, then that phone number is there. And then just for the name, we'll probably change the position of that a little bit. Just one more time. We'll make a little change to this. We can keep it the way it is. Okay, all right, perfect. And again, if you want to see things better, all you got to do is just move that picture out of the way so you can see how you were positioning everything. Okay, so we'll go there. And then now we'll go ahead and click back on our picture, and then full screen, and then we'll do a preview. And we can see that all looks much better now. Only thing that I'm noticing is that with all the text moving at the same time, it's not very engaging, not very easy to read with everything moving at once. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and keep the main message. This is what we want people to see, so we don't need that to do anything. 5 seconds what we set it to, and then here for this one, the phone number, we don't need this to do anything either, because we want them to see as much of that phone number as possible. So we'll go at once right there. So we can go at once, and then if we do that preview, now you notice we only have the name moving, right? So all moving right there is the name. One more thing that we could do is we could keep the name still. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep the name, just make sure that doesn't move, so we'll keep that there, and then just give it that 5 seconds also. And then we'll add one more text window, which is just to break up that text number 3, right? So if we go ahead here, go back to our program page, we can add another text window in. So there's another text. We need to bring it in front of the picture. And then we're going to go back into here. Well, not this one. Yeah, good thing. Yeah, that's why we should rename our files. All right, so we'll go back into here, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to highlight this, and we're going to do a Control-C, so Control and C to cut it, and then we can close that window. Now we can just go ahead and resize that to the space that we need. Then in our 5th text window, we'll go ahead and do that new text. We'll paste that in, and then we'll close that. And then one more time, we'll move that picture out of the way, just so we can see what's happening behind. So click on that picture. We'll just move that out of the way, and then we're going to resize this one right here. Let's get that resized and positioned right in between these two files, so right there. So we get it, almost centered. And then we can do a quick preview just to see how those texts how they're looking together. Okay, all right, perfect. So, based on how we have it, and if we want to be nitpicky, we could shift this over a little bit more. Okay, all right, awesome. So now what we can do with this is that we can say, okay, we're going to do a little transition effect. We can say, okay, we're going to move that one left. And that's the phone number. Actually, I want the phone number to stay still, so let's go ahead and keep the phone number still. So we'll change that back to that once. And then this text number 5. Remember, whatever you have selected, that's what you're making the changes for. So we'll go ahead and we'll change this one to maybe move that left. And then the happy hour, we're gonna, maybe move that right. Okay. And then for the name, we're gonna keep the name still. It's already set. Okay. All right. Perfect. So now we can go ahead and put our picture back in, and then hit that full screen, have it snap into place, and then we'll go ahead and do that preview. So now you can see we have that effect, and we've got that black border because we didn't change it to be transparent for that one as well. So what we've got to do is go back in, go back onto that one. Let's resize it. We can shrink it down, and then we'll move it over a little bit, and then also set it transparent. Get rid of the border from around the edge. Yeah, and then if we hit that preview again, now we see it all working together. We've got our name right there. We've got our phone number at the end. We have our burgers in the background. It's transitioning between the two pictures, and we have our text that's changing on top of that. So that's all working together. Let's say you were happy with this and you wanted to say, okay, let's move on. Let's make another ad. All you have to do is click this page, this icon right here that says create a new page, and then you can start building again. So just click create a new page. Notice we've got program page 2. I clicked it too many times. We've got program page 2. And then you can import your content just like we did before. Add your pictures, add your text, add date, add time, whatever elements you want to. Resize them or reshape them just like we did before. Set the order if you're going to have something in the background or something on top, and then just repeat, right? So there's no right or wrong way. Whichever way is easier for you. Just keep on building and making some good looking ads. All right, so let's say we're happy with this and we wanted to upload this to our sign. First thing we'll do is we'll save it. So we'll go ahead and just, give this a save. Let's go back to our desktop. Sign files folder, and then we'll just call this or test, and maybe give it today's date, 11-4-21, and then we'll hit save. All right, perfect. So once we have that saved, to upload this to the sign, so if you've already gone through the connection video, you know how to configure your antenna for the connection to the sign, you already have that done. If you don't, then follow this link to go there. But then once you are connected, you go control search for devices. If you've already done that, you don't have to do it again. So control search for devices. If you've already done it, you don't have to do it again. Now that you're connected to your sign, then you just go file, send current program. If you were connected, then your IP address would be listed here. Then you would just check the box next to the IP address, which would be right there. Right now, the send options is disconnected. It's grayed out because I'm not connected. But if you were connected, then you'd be able to click this option here to send to the sign. One more thing to note, we mentioned a XM player. It gives you a lot of ways of doing the same thing. If you didn't search using Control D, notice when you got here, there's an option for you to search. So you could have just come right here, click search, find a sign, and then upload to it. There's also a way to add that in manually as well. I mean, you may not want to do this, but if you wanted to add it manually, you would just go ahead and hit add, go to silver, and then type the IP address in 192.168.1, and the IP address for the sign is 128, so 128, and then we'll just hit OK. So if I was connected, then it would have searched and put this in automatically for me. Because I'm not, I just put it in manually. But if I check the box, notice the send option becomes available, and if you hit send, then it attempts to start, sending, and then it's going to give you a prompt to say, okay, this is how much space you need. Do you want to send? You just hit OK to confirm, and then right here, once it's done, you'll get a confirmation of what was done. So if the send was successful, it's going to show you the date, time, and all that information is going to be right there. All right, so let's go back. So let's say, for example, you wanted to schedule this, right? So let's say you wanted to upload this for your sign, but you already have a happy hour this week that starts at 4 o'clock. So next week it's going to start at 5 o'clock because you think, hey, that's going to be a better time. To schedule that in, you would click this icon right here that says Schedule Items. So to create a schedule, the first thing you have to do is to save your file. So because we already saved it, we went here, File, Save. And notice when you save your files, it also gives you a quick link to that file right here at the bottom. So right there. So let's say we had closed this, we wanted to get it back. We could also go File, Open, which we showed you in the previous video when we talked about the menu options. If you haven't seen that, you can go here to see that. All right, so you can hit Open, and then notice the files right here. You can hit that XML file. That's the execution file, so that's the one you want. But there's a quick shortcut. Each time you save a file, you get a quick link to it right here for your recent files. You can just click that, and then notice we're back where we left off. All right, so to schedule the items, we would hit this icon here that says Schedule Items. It's going to give you this table that says, okay, what do you want to do? In this case, we want to add a schedule. When you go to add a schedule, it's going to ask you, okay, well, what do you want the schedule to do? It could be to play a program, turn the screen on, turn it off, brightness settings if you wanted to set a time for the brightness to go up or down, a time to restart your screen, and then, if you want to set like power schedules and so forth. So the options that we want is to play a program. Then you need to find that program that you want to play. So we're going to go Select File. Again, remember that XML file is what's important. So we're going to navigate to wherever that file is, which right here, and then we're going to hit Open. So we've got the file there. Then it says, okay, what time should this file be played? So we're going to say it's happy hour at 5. So perhaps we want to start advertising this at 3 o'clock, right? So we'll go 15, and this is in a 24-hour format, so 15, and then we wanted to go all the way till maybe 5:59, because it starts at 5 and it's only an hour, so 5:59. So we'll go 17, 59, 59. Okay, perfect. And then we'll just hit if it's gonna be for a specific period. So let's say, for example, it's from the 4th, maybe till the 17th. So we can set that in and say, okay, I'm going to schedule this, but I only want it to happen in this week, from the 4th to the 17th. If it's going to be played every day, then we're fine. We can leave everything as is. But let's say it's only for specific days. It's only for, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Saturday, just for the fun of it. We can go ahead and set that in. But if it's not for a specific period, if you just wanted to come on at a specific time every day, then we can leave that set to unlimited. And if it's every day, then we can leave that set to unlimited. If it's for specific days, then we'll go ahead and select the days. So let's say it's for these days. And then we hit OK. Notice the schedule's right there. And then to send this to the sign, what we'll do is check the box next to it. And if you had multiple schedules, because notice you can hit add again and you can add multiple schedules all at once. To send it to the sign, just go ahead and check the box for the schedule that you want to send. And then notice it brings you back to that familiar page for that terminal and server list. So you would check the IP address and then hit send to confirm. I'm not connected, so it won't go all the way through for me. But same concept. Just go ahead and hit send, and then it would send that to your sign. So there's more elements that we could have added to our program. Let's say we wanted to add the time to it. We could just go ahead and click on time. You'll see the preview right there with the time. We could say, okay, we want a 12-hour clock, not a 24-hour clock. If I'm going to show date, maybe I want text instead of digits for the date. If I'm going to show year, maybe I only want a 2-digit year versus everything written out. And then actually I don't even want the year, month, or day on there. I just want time. And then maybe I don't need seconds. I can uncheck that, but maybe I want to show that AM, PM. So I can check that, and then right here it's set to multi-line. So if I made this window bigger, then you can see it does have that AM, PM. It's on a multi-line, but I actually want that to be in one line. So we'll go ahead and check that, and then you can see the time and everything right there. And then we can resize this and position it where we want to. We can position it where we want to, and then finally we can go ahead and change the font size. So we'll make it a little bit smaller so it's not competing with our message. So let's go ahead and adjust that. Well, maybe not that small. All right, perfect. And then we can use these align options that are right here to say, okay, maybe I want to align the time in the window like that, and I want it to be aligned to the bottom. So it's right there in that position. And then we just go ahead and resize that window. By default, time is going to be set to transparent. It's automatically going to be set to be transparent. And since I brought it down, it's got to adjust the alignment for that new window size. All right, perfect. And then let's say, for example, we wanted to show the temperature with this as well. We can go ahead and add a sensor. And then again, you won't have humidity. You do have brightness, but I'm not sure if you want to display that on your screen. And we don't need that. So temperature, and then you can change it to Fahrenheit. And by default, the software is going to show 37 here in the program, but when you actually send it out to your screen, it's going to display whatever it's picking up, whatever that sensor is picking up in that spot in place of the 37 degrees that we've got here. All right, so if we do that preview one more time, well, before we do, remember, we've got to organize our files, so we've got to bring that down